Stillness sounds simple. Sit down, be quiet, do nothing. But for high performers, it's often one of the most uncomfortable states they can enter. Not because they lack discipline, but because everything that has made them effective in life has trained them in the opposite direction. They are wired for movement, output, progress. Their systems are built to solve, respond, and anticipate. So when the environment goes quiet, something else gets loud. Stillness removes the structure they rely on. High performers tend to operate inside structure. Deadlines, metrics, expectations, responsibilities. There is always something to measure against, something to complete, something to move forward. Stillness removes all of that. There's no clear feedback, no immediate sense of progress, no task to complete. And without that structure, the mind doesn't settle, it searches. It looks for the next thing to solve, fix, or optimize. What feels like rest to one person can feel like disorientation to someone used to constant direction. A useful place to begin is by adding light structure to stillness instead of expecting it to feel natural right away. Set a timer for a short window. Sit, breathe, and give your mind a simple anchor. You're not removing structure, you're refining it. Their identity is tied to output. For many high performers, worth has quietly become linked to productivity. They are the ones who get things done, who carry responsibility, who move forward. That identity is reinforced over time, by results, by recognition, by internal standards. Stillness interrupts that identity. When you're not producing, achieving, or progressing, there can be an underlying sense of losing ground or falling behind, even when nothing is actually wrong. The nervous system doesn't read stillness as recovery. It reads it as inactivity. This is where the shift has to become intentional. Stillness isn't the absence of value. It's where recovery, clarity, and regulation actually occur. Start by separating your sense of worth from your output in small ways. Allow yourself periods where nothing is being achieved, but something important is still happening internally. Their nervous system is conditioned for constant activation. High performers often live in a state of low-level activation, which is focused, alert, and engaged. It's what allows them to handle pressure, make decisions quickly, and stay ahead. But over time, that becomes the baseline. Stillness asks the nervous system to downshift, and if it hasn't practiced that, it can feel unnatural. Restlessness, agitation, even a subtle urge to get up and do something else. It's not a lack of ability to be still. It's a lack of training in that state. This is why stillness can initially feel harder than effort. Instead of forcing long periods of silence, begin with shorter exposures. 2 to 5 minutes of intentional stillness, where the goal is simply to notice your breath and remain seated. The consistency matters more than the duration. You are training a different gear. They use movement to stay ahead of what they feel. Constant motion isn't always just about productivity. Sometimes it's a way to stay ahead of internal discomfort. When you're moving, achieving, solving, there's less space for unresolved thoughts, emotions, or fatigue to surface. Stillness removes that buffer. What comes up in those quiet moments can feel unfamiliar or inconvenient, especially for someone used to staying in control. But this is also where the deeper work happens. Not in the doing, but in the noticing. The approach here isn't to force anything to change. It's to allow what's there to exist, without immediately trying to fix it. Sit, observe, and let the experience pass through without engaging it. That alone begins to shift your relationship with it. Stillness doesn't give immediate feedback. High performers are used to feedback loops. You take action, you see a result, you adjust. There's a clear connection between effort and outcome. Stillness doesn't work that way. You won't always feel calmer right away. You won't necessarily leave a few minutes of quiet feeling more productive or more clear. The benefits are subtle and cumulative. Better regulation, more measured responses, clearer thinking over time. That lack of immediate return can make stillness feel ineffective, even when it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The shift here is to treat stillness the same way you would strength training. Don't expect one session to change everything. Show up consistently, knowing the adaptation is happening beneath the surface. High performers don't struggle with stillness because they're incapable of it. They struggle because they've become highly trained in the opposite. Stillness is not a personality trait. It's a skill. It can be built the same way anything else is built, through repetition, exposure, and intention. Short, consistent moments where nothing is being produced, but everything is being recalibrated. Over time, it stops feeling like a disruption and starts becoming a resource. And for someone used to carrying a high load, that shift changes everything.